After a very sad passing of her beloved one, Amelise Burr made a decision that would forever change her life. Instead of letting grief define her, she channeled it into something that gave her both freedom and purpose: van life. With no formal training and only limited savings, she purchased a Ford Transit and slowly transformed it into her home. Those early days were filled with trial and error, yet they also marked the start of something bigger. Amelise picked up a camera and began documenting the journey. Over time, her channel, Ame in a Van, grew into a community of hundreds of thousands, with millions of views worldwide. Viewers are drawn to her practical builds, her calm storytelling, and her honest portrayal of life on the road. But who is the woman behind the channel? What experiences led her to this path? And how did she turn a personal journey into a thriving online presence? To answer that, we need to go back to the very beginning. The woman at the heart of the story is Amelise Burr, though her audience knows her simply as Ame. She grew up in Cambridgeshire, a county in eastern England known for its rolling countryside and historic towns. Life there was steady, but not always easy. Her parents, Rob and Charlotte, worked hard to support the family, often taking on unconventional jobs, including running a food truck. Money was never abundant, yet the family valued resourcefulness and self-reliance. For Amelise, childhood was shaped by creativity and curiosity. She had a natural inclination to build and experiment, never afraid to get her hands dirty. These skills, which seemed small at the time, would one day become the backbone of her independence. Her family life carried both warmth and challenges, but it was the loss of her grandmother that truly altered the course of her story. This passing was more than the absence of a beloved family member. It marked the beginning of a period of instability. In her own reflections, Amelise has shared that life came crashing down after her grandmother's death. The house no longer felt like a place of comfort. Conventional housing, with its expenses and restrictions, seemed more like a burden than a solution. Out of this unease, the idea of van life began to take shape. The decision to live differently was not rushed. Before Amelise ever bought a van, her family tested the waters in a simple way. They moved into a caravan parked on her grandfather's driveway and lived there for a year. This period, though unconventional, was important. It showed them what life in a smaller space felt like and gave them confidence that such a lifestyle was sustainable. For Amelise, it was a revelation. Instead of feeling cramped or restricted, she found comfort in the simplicity. The caravan was not perfect, but it proved that a smaller, mobile home could provide the freedom and security she longed for. That year planted the seed for something much bigger. When the time was right, she decided she would build her own van, a home she could truly call her own. At just 19 years old, Amelise purchased a white Ford Transit van. It was nothing glamorous, simply an empty shell waiting to be transformed. Most young people her age were entering university or beginning their first jobs. Amelise, instead, took on a project that would test every ounce of her patience and determination. The van, later named Gloria, became her canvas. She spent roughly 1.5 years building it from the ground up. Each part of the process, carpentry, wiring, plumbing, and design, was handled by her alone. She had no professional training, only her willingness to learn. The total cost of the build was under £10,000. It was a significant investment for her, but far less than buying a traditional home. More importantly, it gave her a sense of independence and stability that no rented room or flat could offer. The van was no longer just a vehicle. It was a symbol of resilience, a space she had created with her own hands. When she finished, she did something that would change the course of her life. She picked up a camera and began to share her journey with the world. In June 2020, Ame in a Van appeared on YouTube. The early videos were modest, showing her build process and glimpses of life on the road. But then came the video that captured global attention: Van Build from Start to Finish, our 1.5-year self-build under £10,000. This video struck a chord. Millions watched as she condensed her 18-month project into a single inspiring story. More than 3.8 million views later, it remains her most successful upload. Comments from viewers praised not only the finished van, but also the determination and skill it took to complete it. One construction tutor even remarked that he would share her videos with his students. noting that she could teach professional tradespeople a few things. This moment defined her channel. She was not just another traveler filming scenic landscapes. She was a builder, a storyteller, and a young woman showing what resilience could look like in practice. Audiences trusted her because what she presented was real and hard-earned. As her audience grew, so did the possibilities. YouTube provided ad revenue, though the amounts varied daily. Industry estimates placed her earnings anywhere between $20 and $300 a day, depending on views. By 2025, her total net worth was estimated at over $500,000, though these numbers remain unverified. What is certain is that Amelise built more than just a channel. She created a diversified business. Sponsorships with brands such as Van True provided steady income. She designed her own line of merchandise, including mugs, hoodies, and posters, featuring her Van Gloria and her dog Gigi. She also built a strong community through membership platforms where supporters could pay for exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access. This layered approach allowed her to support herself fully on the road. The girl who once lived in a caravan on a driveway now ran her own small media empire, proving that independence could be achieved in more ways than one. With visibility came questions. Audiences wanted to know more than what appeared in her videos. Was she in a relationship? Would she ever settle down? Would she live in a van forever? Her brand often highlighted the theme of solo female van life, which became central to her identity online. However, speculation grew when the name Chandler appeared in a members-only video title. Some fans wondered if this revealed a partner, while others dismissed it as coincidence. Amelise herself never confirmed anything publicly. In a world where many influencers share every detail of their personal lives, her silence was striking. By keeping parts of her story private, she reminded her audience that freedom also means setting boundaries. To her audience, the appeal of van life often looks like endless freedom. Open roads, sunsets, and cozy evenings inside a self-built home. Yet beneath this image lies a more complex truth. For Amelise, the journey began from grief and instability, not from a carefree impulse. Life on the road carries risks, nights parked in lonely places, the constant calculation of money and fuel, and the challenges of being a young woman traveling alone. Her resilience has always been part of her story. Viewers admire her courage, but they may not always see the weight she carries. What makes her journey so powerful is not just the beauty of travel, but the strength it took to choose this path when other options felt impossible. Today, Amelise Burr, known worldwide as Ame in a Van, continues to travel, create, and build. Her story began in hardship but has grown into something extraordinary. From the loss of her grandmother, to a caravan on a driveway to a van named Gloria, she shaped a life that balanced independence with creativity. Her success is not simply about views or income, it is about showing what can happen when someone takes control of their story step by step. She has moved from being a traveler with a camera to a creator with a vision, now branching into filmmaking and broader storytelling.